friends, and welcome back. My name is Mel, and I hope you are having the most fantastic of days. We are in full-blown apollycon panic mode. I have just realized that I have less than a week until I'm leaving for apollycon, and I haven't thought about what I'm gonna pack. I haven't thought about what books I'm gonna take with me. There are still so many apollycon authors that I have not tried yet, authors that I really wanted to read from before I went. Obviously, I will still stop by the tables of the authors that I'm interested in that I haven't gotten to, but man, I had such lofty plans and then waited to the last minute and didn't realize that I am now officially out of time. I really wanted to squeeze in at least one more book. Actually, I wanted to squeeze in several more books, but the patrons reeled me in and were like, yeah, that's not happening. You should figure out a way to narrow this down, and suggested that I try the first chapter of the ones that I had left, see what I was feeling, and read that book, so at least I would get one more hopefully read before I leave for apollycon. So I have gathered 8 authors that I still was really interested in that I haven't gotten to pick anything up from. And I'm planning to try the first chapter of a couple of their books and see what ends up gripping me, and then I'll continue on with that one. Tentatively, we have Holly Renee and The Veiled Kingdom. She also has A Kingdom of Stars and Shadows, but I think the Veiled Kingdom synopsis sounds more interesting to me. We have Curse the Saints by Kate Dramis. This is one that I've heard really good things about. I picked it up a while ago and then completely forgot that she was an apollycon author, so this is definitely a possibility. We have Danielle L. Jensen, and yes, I have read from her before, but I read The Bridge Kingdom a really long time ago and just kind of forgot all the things about it. I really wasn't reading a lot of like fanro then. I didn't know how to appreciate a good banter, and so I really want to try Danielle L. Jensen's writing again. So I think that I could either do The Bridge Kingdom for this one, which I don't own anymore, or I could do her newest release, A Fate Inked in Blood. I know The Bridge Kingdom seems to be a little bit more loved than this one, but this one is the one that I own, so I'm not really sure. I'm going to try a chapter of this one. If it doesn't just grip me, then I may read the first chapter of The Bridge Kingdom again, but I would like to be exposed to a new story. Then we have Lucinda Dark, who wrote The Crown of Blood and Glass. I don't know a lot about this one. I have the first and second book on audio from NetGalley, so that's a possibility. Another author that I've read from before but wanted to give another try, and that is S.M. Gaither. I have Flame and Sparrow, which was gifted to me by Bree, so thank you so much to Bree. I've heard good things about this one. I have a special edition coming, so I really hope that I like it. We also have Sarah M. Crate, and the one that I have that I would try is The Claw and the Crown. This one was gifted to me by Maria, and I've heard it's a bodyguard romance, which really intrigues me. Then we have Claire Legrand. This one is one that I was like, I don't really know what to read from her, because I feel like when I think romantasy, I think more adult, but the release that I'm the most interested in from her is Furyborn, which is her young adult series. So I think that I'm going to give this one a try. It's also the one that I own. I don't currently own A Crown of Ivy and Glass, I think is the name of it, but I think I have the NetGalley arc of it, so I could also try that one. And last but not least is Eliza Rain, who wrote A Court of Ravens and Ruin. I've heard mixed things about this one, so it scares me a little bit, but she's also there, and I would like to at least try her works. So that is 8 authors that I need to buzz through the first chapter of real quick, see what I'm the most interested in, and then panic read some apollycon authors. So I've just finished the first chapter of Flame and Sparrow by S.M. Gaither, and I think I'm going to give this one a 7. I liked it a lot. I will say that the writing was a little bit rough in this first prologue. There were a lot of things that we were being told a lot, and I felt like some of the sentence structure just was weird in my brain, but I'm intrigued about what happened. I want to know more about what happened to her sister. Basically, this opens with our main character finding blood in her sister's bed, and then she is whisked away by her childhood best friend, and then her sister has been missing for many years, and they are now like a part of a rebellion. And I like that thought. This world is really interesting. We have elves, and apparently the elves' power was stripped away by these middle gods essentially, and I want to know more about that. I want to know more about the higher gods and how they stripped away the power from the elves and all of the implications from that. So I found the world really interesting. It was mostly just the writing, honestly, that was a little bit of a struggle in this one. Okay, next up, I think I'm going to try the first chapter of Curse the Saints. Okay, so I finished the first chapter of A Curse of Saints. This one was actually really short. It was only like 7 pages long. And I think I'm also give it a 7. I can't give out too many of the same numbers, but I was intrigued but not completely gripped. We're following Aya, I think is how you say her name, and she is one of the spies in the Queen's like 3rd command. And when we open up this, she is basically taking one of the men that she's been spying on captive for a mission for her queen, and that's really all we got. I like her spunk, I like the personality of her, but we didn't really get a whole lot else in that first chapter, so this one is a 7, mostly just because I feel like I needed a little bit more information to be gripped, but I am intrigued and I liked the writing. Okay, so next up, I think I'm gonna go with Furyborn. This looks like it has a 10 or 12 page prologue, so we're gonna try that, and hopefully I like it. I've heard it can be a little confusing to start. We've gained a couple of helpers in that little segment. I finished the first chapter, and I see the confusing. It's intriguing, but I am not 100% sure what's going on. We open with the queen having a baby, and we know that the queen has literally just killed the king, and we don't really know why. She seems a little cuckoo, and she is trying to get her daughter away before someone tries to kill her. And we have Simon, who is like some kind of half angel guy, and he whisks away the princess, and that's kind of where it ends. Like, I don't know. I'm intrigued, but I'm a little bit confused, and I think that that's pretty normal based off of what I know of this first bit of the book. So I think I'm going to give this one a 7.5. I want to know what's going on, but I am a little bit like, at the same time. Okay, next I think I'm going to go with A Claw in the Crown. Okay, I read the first chapter of Claw in the Crown. First, let me just say that the illustrations in this book are gorgeous. Some of the pictures and just even the chapter headings are so pretty. This opens with Emerald, and she is just kind of thinking amongst herself about how she's ready to get away. She's ready to be able to make her own decisions and not feel tethered to this place. And I believe she's talking to the king's heir, and he says that he loves her, but she doesn't love him enough to stay, but she's always curious about what love is and what kisses feel like and all of this. When her mother comes and tells her that she is going to be the first chosen, which means she is due to be queen, and she always thought that this was above her station, nothing that she was going to be allowed to do, and she passes out. And then we have Drazen, who is, I believe, a knight, and he is going to be the one guarding the first chosen, but at the end of the chapter we find out that he wants the king and the heir dead. I am intrigued by this. The writing and the setting is a little bit more Regency than I was expecting it to be, but I found that I don't really dislike that as much as I thought I did, because I've read a lot of Romantasy with more Regency setting lately that I like. I think I just don't like a full-on Bridgerton style. So I'm intrigued by this, but I'm not just instantly hooked. That last line really gripped me, but nothing else about it. I was just like, oh, okay, this is going to be kind of one of those propriety, wow, that word's hard to say, kind of thing. So I think I'm going to give this one also a 7. I liked it, but I'm not just completely hooked yet. Okay, so the last physical one that I have, and probably the last one for a few minutes, we're actually going to be going to do a packing session backstage so that we can talk about all of the things that we need to not forget, which I will forget something if I don't do that. So before we do that, really quickly though, I'm going to read the first chapter of Fate Inked in Blood, and then I will be back to chat with you guys for the remaining 3 books. I feel like I'm saying the same thing about every book, but this one was about 12 pages long, and we open it with our main character, and she's talking with her husband, and her husband is this awful, awful, awful human, and he's infuriated with her for not getting him a son. She kind of smarts off to him, and he storms away, leaving her on the beach by herself when a man rides up and asks about her and kind of flirts with her a little bit and then rides off. I was not overly intrigued by that first chapter, to be honest. I don't know what it was, but I just wasn't as drawn in as I wanted to be. I do know that like a lot of people really love this book, so I'm thinking maybe it was just a first chapter thing, but I would say it got like a 6. It was fine, but there wasn't anything in just those first 12 pages that was like, yes, I need to read more. I'm curious about who the guy is, but their interaction just didn't completely grip me. So I'm like, I don't know if this is the book for now. This is kind of a mood reading thing. Like, it's just what am I in the mood for right now? It doesn't actually mean that any of these books are going to be bad or good based on the first chapter. It's just like, what am I feeling in the moment, you know? So I'm going to go do our packing sesh and I will come back in just a little bit and we'll chat about the final 3 books that I needed to read. Okay, so I don't know what I was thinking when I told you guys last night that I would be back because we were just going to chat for a little bit, do a little packing session, and then I would be back. Yeah, no, we talked until like I don't know, 11:30 my time. So I did not make it back to continue on with the try a chapter tag, but I was able to listen to one of the chapters that I had an audiobook for that I didn't own physically, Crown of Blood and Glass, I believe it's called, by Lucinda Dark. And I think that this one's going to get like a 5 from me. It starts off with a sex scene, which is not my favorite thing. It kind of sets the tone that it's going to be a lot more spicy, which I was expecting, but I just don't really think I'm in the mood for right now. So I think that I'm going to hold off. It does seem like it's going to have vampires though, which did intrigue me, but I just am looking for something a little bit different right now. So I don't think that I'm going to go that route, but I still have 2 more chapters to go. So we're going to see what I think of those. And then I think I may know what I'm leaning toward right now. Okay, so I know I was literally just here, but the chapter for A Court of Ravens in Ruin is like 1 page, literally 1 page. But I kind of liked it. I'm a little bit intrigued by that one. It opens with a prince and there's like shadow magic and he absorbs a creature and he asks, have you found her? And they're like, yes, we found her, my prince. And he's like, okay, if anybody touches her, they die. I love a good touch her and die trope. So like, I think this one's going to get an 8. I'm surprised by that. I don't know if this will be the one I go with because after a little bit of research, I have heard that it is also pretty spicy. And I'm just not 100% sure if I'm in the mood for like super spicy. I don't mind a little bit of spice, but I'm not sure about super spicy. So like maybe, but I was intrigued by that first chapter, even though it was literally 3 paragraphs. Okay, I'm actually surprised, but I think we have a winner. This was not the one I was thinking I was going to be reading, but I really enjoyed the first chapter of The Veiled Kingdom. I think I'm also going to give it like an 8, 8.5. It sets the stage with a princess that has just come out of her tower, where she has been locked away by the king because she is the heir that was disappointing. She doesn't have any magic, and so he doesn't want anybody to know about her, but she's trying to get away, and so I believe she is stealing money with the help of one of her friends to try to get her out of this kingdom, and she takes on the rebellion's mark, which is very, very dangerous, but she thinks it's the only way that she's going to be able to get out of there, and then she's captured. And I don't know, I liked the writing, I liked the just rebellion aspects of it, I thought that it was fun, I'm intrigued, so I thought I was probably honestly going to go with Flame and Sparrow, because that one just had a good world. Even though I was annoyed by the writing style, it had a really good world to it. And I'll be honest, people's opinions and things that I've heard about some of these books were swaying me just a teeny bit, because I've heard the banter's really good in Flame and Sparrow, and I've heard that A Court of Ravens in Ruin is probably not going to be my vibe, but this solves that problem because I've not heard anything but good things about this one, and I like the first chapter. So I think that's what I'm going to go with. I think I'm going to read The Veiled Kingdom by Holly Renee. So this is going to be my first book by her. I do know that she tends to lean on the spicier side, but this first chapter didn't really like give me any indications. It didn't start with a sex scene. There were no raunchy innuendos or anything like that. So I'm hoping it'll be the kind of spice that I enjoy, and I'm excited to give it a try. So I'll check back in with you guys once I've read a little bit more of it. But yeah, I'm excited to read this one. Okay, ignore how incredibly dirty my kitchen is. I have been in like a full-on pack mode slash get stuff ready for the trip mode, and unfortunately the kitchen has not been the thing I have gotten to yet, so we're getting there. But yeah, that's a today or tomorrow problem. But I wanted to chat with you guys really quickly this morning while I was making my drink for work, because I accidentally binged 60% of The Veiled Kingdom last night. I went to bed, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna read a little bit before bed, just a chapter or 2, and the next thing I knew, I was 60% in. I am really enjoying this so far. It's a lot of fun. The banter's good. Daycare is an asshole, but in a fun way. I like their banter, although I won't say that it's like just fun, witty banter. They don't like each other. And so their banter is more along the lines of he doesn't trust her. However, they don't like each other in the way that they really want to get in each other's pants kind of thing. So it works. I will say the only thing that made me pause was that about the 60% mark was the first like spicy scene that we got, which was great. But it kind of went from, I don't know, 20 to 100. And I wish that there had been a little bit more setup or a little bit more like tension. I wish they had like kissed in between before that happened or something, just to kind of like set the stage a little bit, especially because she's supposed to be so naive and never done anything before. And then all of a sudden he's finger banging her while they're drunk. So I don't know, it went a little too junk for me. But I am having a good time. Obviously, there are some plot holes in this. There are some things where I'm like, that doesn't really make sense. But I'm having a good time with it. I'm enjoying it. It's fun. It's quick. It's a popcorn fantasy. And I'm really glad that I picked it up. So today is Wednesday. I leave on Saturday. Well, I leave on super early on Sunday morning. So my last reading day will be Saturday. I don't know how much reading I will get in Saturday because it's going to be like pack frenzy mode. But if I finish this today, which I highly anticipate doing, probably relatively early in the day, then I might end up picking up another book for this vlog. I really only plan to read one, but we're gonna see. And if I don't get it finished, then you guys may get to see this as weekly style vlog where I give you my final thoughts in the wrap up, because I'm just gonna have to cut this off on Saturday. But I wanna try to squeeze in one more book if I can, because like, I wanna try to read as many apollycon authors as possible. So we'll see how that goes. I'll probably do a car update with you guys about lunchtime today, where hopefully I have finished the book. It's gonna be really embarrassing when I come back to you from like tomorrow afternoon in completely different clothes, but you know what? It is what it is. Okay, I swear it's the same day. I actually did a clip in my car at lunch like I told you I was going to, but it was raining, and so the audio's not great because we start off good and then it gets really heavy rain, which is great for reading, but not so great for hearing me talk. I'm assuming since you're here, you want to be able to hear me talk, so we're just gonna do this again. I have finished The Veiled Kingdom. This is following Naira, who is a princess. She is the last heir, or the only heir to the throne, but her father locks her away when she's very young and realizes that she doesn't have any magic, because in this world, in this kingdom, you are valued based off of how strong your magic is. And since she doesn't have any, he doesn't even want anybody to really know that. He doesn't want anyone to see her, to really know that she exists, while he's trying to get another heir. One day there is a raid from the rebellion, and she is able to finally escape the castle and starts to live on the streets. With the help of her friend Micah, she steals a coin purse from a guard, but unfortunately she gets caught and thrown into a dungeon. And then we switch over to Dacker, who is the son of the leader of the rebellion, and his sister has just been captured and he's trying to get her out. So he goes to save his sister, and in the same cell where his sister is, Naira is, and he takes her too. She ends up in the underground city of the rebellion, where nobody knows who she is, and she's got to try to navigate this new situation. I had so much fun with this book. I don't really know whether it's gonna get a 4-star or a 5-star. It's kind of teetering that line, because yes, it has some problems, but I just had so much fun with this book. It is a touch bully romance. It definitely is kind of an enemies to lovers, but feels more like hate to love, but hate in the way that like they don't like each other at all, but they're really attracted to each other all at the same time, which honestly I'm completely here for. This one was not spicy in the way that I thought it was going to be. We definitely have some really heavy spice that comes in about the 60th percent mark, but it's really good spice. I didn't mind it. It was a little too, like I said earlier, 0 to 100 in the initial spice, but after we got through that kind of initial spice, like, yeah, it's hot and heavy, but it's a good, she writes some good spice. So other than that, like I said, I'm not really sure. I think it's gonna be a high 4 rounded to a 5, like a 4.5. Am I allowed to give out a 4.5? I feel like I'm allowed to give out a 4.5. I am so sad that the sequel is not out yet. It comes out in July, I believe. So I don't have to wait too long for this. And I think it may be a duology, so that will hopefully kind of round out the story. And she does have another series that I can read, which I had been avoiding because I heard that it was super, super spicy. If it's the same level of spice that this one was, I think that will be completely fine for me. I'm really excited to meet her at apollycon. I'm so glad that I picked this up and read it, because honestly, I was not like itching to based off of what I had heard, but I'm so glad that I did. Now it's time to decide, do I read Flame and Sparrow or do I call it quits here? It's Wednesday, so I do have a little bit more time, but I have tomorrow. Then Friday is Taylor Swift, the Torture Poets Department. And then Saturday, I'm supposed to get my hair cut before I leave for apollycon, and I need to pack and get everything ready. And then Sunday, I have to leave my house at 4 a.m. So am I really gonna get time to read anymore? I don't think that I am. So I think I may just wrap up this vlog here because I don't want to leave you guys on a massive cliffhanger of me not finishing the book, which is probably what's going to happen if I continue on in this vlog. So thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for hanging out with me while I panic read one last apollycon read. You guys are seeing this while I'm at apollycon. You will be seeing a vlog after apollycon of all of our shenanigans and all of our fun. Leave me some fantasy romance recommendations down in the comments if you have them, especially something if you've read The Veiled Kingdom kind of in this vein. If you just want to let me know that you were here, leave me a castle emoji. As always, links to my Patreon, Instagram, Twitter, and Goodreads are down in the description box below. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe if you want to, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!